And because you just touched upon the word hope, I will never forget the first time I discovered you on Instagram. You popped up on my discovery feed and there was this picture. So you were covered with eggs and they all slid off your belly, remaining one. And I will never forget, I was sitting there on my own and I thought, wow, this picture is such a powerful metaphor for hope. Of course, when it comes to miscarriage and fertility, but for so many other life aspects and more universal themes as well. Now that I have you on my podcast, I'm wondering, for you personally, this picture, how did it shape your understanding of hope and what does it symbolize for you personally?
So that image was I was in a moment of my life where imagery was experiences. And I started to realize that every time I was having a moment about something, I was emotional about something, my best way to get through that moment was to conceptualize in my mind something that would represent it, go out, spend the time to do the self-portrait, and then walk away from it. And whatever happened in my emotions could go into that image, live in that image, and I could let it go. And I had multiple times, it was raining and I went in the pool and I took this picture of me in the pool. And each one of those experiences captured whatever I was feeling in that day. And I was like, okay, there it is. That's where the emotion is. So that specific image, I had spent years trying to get pregnant with my last child, and I really wanted another one. And we had a whole family. There's so many reasons, and I couldn't let it go. And I kept trying and I kept trying and I kept trying. And when I took that picture, she was here already. But I was having an emotion that day because I had one of my best friends that couldn't get pregnant. And I felt like that affected me because I lived it so deeply for so long. And I was like, I never did a representation of that and I need to do it. And when I went, I had done IVF multiple times that never worked. In the end, it was Chinese medicine that got me pregnant with her. But I had gotten eggs out of eggs and none of them would work and nothing would happen. When I went to take that picture, I was like, I'm just going to use a bunch of eggs. And I put the iPhone, as I always did, like I glued it to the ceiling, and then I would have my Apple Watch, which I would take the picture and I would push the picture and I'd set it all up. And I laid down and I broke all the eggs on me. And I didn't mean for just one egg to stay there. I just kind of thought they would be all over the place. And they literally all slid off of me except for one. And I took the pictures, and after I took it, I actually cried because I just wanted her to believe that it was going to happen for her. And it was like, wow, it just takes one egg to have that child that you want, and you can be trying and trying and nothing else matters. And it stayed there. And it was that moment for me when I did that, it was a beautiful experience, as most of those self-portrait moments were. And often I would let the emotion live in it. And that picture, it's interesting when you reached out and you said that, because that picture means so much to me just because it all kind of fell together. And I believe so strongly in everything happening for your higher self. And it's not an easy thing to be thinking when you're living in a desperate moment in your life. Like, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. And I can go back to that period and those 4 years and tell you that I would do every one of those I had 4 losses in that time, and I would do them all over again for her. Like, it was all meant for her. I believe that wholeheartedly. And getting through that period of my life, while difficult, taught me so much. And I don't know, that one egg, and she was my one egg that made it in the end. And it's just, I don't know. I love that image for my own personal, yeah.
Oh, me too. I have goosebumps all over my body. It's so what you have said, and also what you've shared through not just what you just said, but in that picture is so beautiful on so many layers. It's beautiful how you give people the courage to sit with their emotion. And your way of sitting with your emotion is expressing it with art. Others might do it while journaling or going on the walk or talking to someone or dancing. But I'm like, wow, she really has the courage to sit with what is and to actually capture it. Because I think when we capture it in whatever way we do it, it becomes reality. So I find that
I want to say, just for people who like, I took hundreds of pictures, and there was, a small series that ended up being the ones that I shared and loved the most. Like, each experience, whether it ended up with like an amazing final product or not, I learned to let that go because it was about the experience, and that was okay. And quite honestly, I can look back at some of the things now and find beauty in some of the images that I never shared because I didn't feel like they were good enough to share, but it didn't matter because it was what I needed to do in that moment. And I was creating like crazy back then. I mean, constant. I needed it. I needed it to kind of just get through day by day. And I feel like in anything, but in art, you want the result. You want the result to be good. But when you're led trying for the result, you're going about it wrong, and it's never going to come out of you the way it needs to. Like, if I was trying to get that picture, I would have never gotten it, and it would have been a disaster. But I wasn't. I was just trying to experience something for myself, and it came. And I had lots of times it didn't come, but that one it did. And I think it's important because you have to just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and let the things naturally happen, and the highest good will come.